Hello guys, this is Rattue 498 and this is a commentary battle on the LIGNY Scenario map. It's myself, Roos and a random playing, and we're playing as the Prussians. I'm in control of the army on the right, which is mainly made up of grenadiers, and I have some light units as well. I have a couple of units of cav. Roos is in control of the centre, and the random's in control of the left, and the left actually seems to have the best army out of everything, which is the army you can see now. So Roos has got a couple of hussar up on the hill, and they're firing down. This is a really tough map for the Prussians to win on in this scenario. It's pretty difficult for them to win on. The French have a lot of good units, especially those with experience, have howitzers, and obviously they have Napoleon, a couple of old guard, 3 old guard I believe, 2 young guard. So they've got a good old range of army here. The French opponent on the right has a huge amount of cav. I think they have 7 cav units in their army, and not a huge amount of line inf. So I cross the river with basically all my units, apart from a musketeer and my general. Just normal way, basically lights in front of my grenadiers. I've crossed the river on my right as well with my cav. I've got 4 cav units, sorry, on my right, and I've got a grenadier unit over there as well. Excuse me. So the plan is basically to try and take out my flank. As it turns out, I'm going to need quite a bit of support from Roos as well, who's playing in the centre, to be able to do this. So I'm going to wrap my cav around far on the right hand side, and I'm going to plan to engage his lights and try and take them out with my cav after they're engaged. Our opponents in this game are actually all clan players, so that probably made it a bit tougher as well, not having to play random players. Clan players are normally that little bit better. So my opponent has about 6 chasseur units, I believe, if I pronounce that correctly. They have about 6, and they have some decent line, but they don't have much cav. They do have a couple of houses. So here the chasseurs go fire, and as you can see now, I'm going to send a couple of cav units in as soon as they shot to come and try and take out the French chasseur units. See, the houses are pounding down on me now. But these cav, I believe it's a couple of hussar, or maybe 1 hussar and 1 dragoon unit. Both with a lot of experience, so they're going to hang around for a little while. Charge bonus on these units ain't great, but they're pretty handy in melee, so they should do a good job against these lights, and at least give me enough of an advantage. The French opponent now brings down another chasseur unit to support. So I've got my lights and my grenadiers firing, and as the chasseurs are engaged with my cav, they can't shoot back at me. So I'm getting some decent shots into them as well. My first hussar unit, or I believe that might be my dragoon unit, is routed. See, the houses are pounding down on my cav as well now. And I managed to get a hit into the fusilier unit. So my opponent has sent some cav round to try and sort out this flank. He's also got a grenadier unit, or 2 grenadier units over there as well. I form up a square with the first, and he's going to then carry on charging into my cav. So I've moved my lights and my grenadiers up the hill. I've gone melee with one of my grenadier units. These grenadiers are really good at melee. Very weak against cav when they're in melee, because obviously they can't square or anything like that, so you should probably choose your timing on doing it. But they are very, very handy at melee. So Roos sent a couple of cav across over here as well, I think, to help out. So basically, the main engagement's going on my side, apart from an arty fight in the middle between Roos and his opponent. So 1 grenadier unit has been blown up and cav charged away, so I'm going to send another one in to melee these chasseurs. So just looking over the rest of the map, as you can see, just an arty fight. Nothing more going on, absolutely nothing going on the side where our random is, which is a problem really. I mean, he's got a lot of his units in the village and in the house, which is really quite an issue to us because he has the best army out of all of us. So it does cause us quite a problem. Get a cav charge through, get a decent hit on this unit here. This grenadier unit. You should always stay stationary when you're incoming from a cav charge. Don't try and recharge them or try and run away, because they want to try and brace themselves for the cav charge, which means you'll take less losses. So here, as you can see, the battle's going quite well over on this side, but we are going to have some problems in a minute from the fact that there's going to be a shitload of cav come over. So I can still form a square with that unit, so my grenadier unit's going to go into square, my light's going to run away. I believe, well, it looks from this is a dragoon unit. French dragoons. So we've destroyed the right flank over on this side. But as I say, we're going to have a lot of trouble in a second when the French opponents start supporting. So I get cav charging on my grenadiers that come form a square. So counter charging my cav. Grenadiers are really good in melee, even against cav. They do a pretty good job against everyone, so that's quite alright. As you can see down here, the battle's not going quite so well, and here's 3 cav units come across already. There's another one in the centre there, so there's 4 cav units the right player for the French has brought across. So I've requested some cav from Roos, and he's sending some cav through the centre. So a lot of my units come from square. I believe only one of them can now actually form a square, but because they're grenadiers, as I say, they're pretty good in melee, so should do pretty well against them. This cav unit here is holding on really well, because in fact the mass pilot cav has just gone around them.
Sir, our general is under attack.
So I've brought my general across, and he's just experienced up all those units in there that are fighting with the cav, just to make him hold out for a bit longer, hopefully destroy the cav. If we can destroy the cav on this side, then the player on the right hand side, our player on the left on our side attacking their right, will have a really easy job, because basically the main force on that side was cav. Got a few line units, I believe grenadier unit, but that is about it, so he should have a really easy job. As you can see now, the random started attacking after we've requested him a few times to attack. So the random started attacking now, as you can see, he's moving up the hill. You can see just the sheer numbers of his men. He leaves half his army back in the village as well, which was very strange. Now at the top of the screen, as you can see, the cav's coming down on my unit. So the bottom of the screen, Reese's cav's going in, it forms a square. So here's the cav coming into my unit, so I try and hold them up with cav charge of my own, to stop them getting their charge bonuses and stuff. They get a decent hit of the grenadier unit. Formed a square with one of my units which could still form a square, sending all the rest of my available cav in the area going to go over and attack the cav that's assaulting me. Roos has managed to get a good hit on the light unit, and he's going to go through and try and get the cannons as well, the houses as well. So Roos is firing his sorry, excuse me, guns down at the cav units here, but he's missing with every shot he's firing. So looking over the rest of the battlefield, you can see on the right, left of your screen at the back, that's where their elite units are. I haven't brought them up yet. And here's the random we're playing with, attacking this side. As I say, there's nothing really over here now. There's a couple of units, that's it. It should be about 7 cav units over here as well, but there's nothing. And the random's left a lot of units back in the village. We're trying to ask him to move everything up, but he seems reluctant to kind of move those units out. I think he wanted them to keep them as some kind of assertive or something. But anyway. So we managed to repel that cav attack, but we took a lot of heavy losses. I've only got the one unit that can form a square now, and as you can see the French now brought up some support that are going to come around my flank. I'm still getting hit with a lot of artillery. Roos, I believe, has got a musketeer unit in there, as said to basically run away, get back across the river. I was a little bit reluctant to do that, so I kind of hang around a little bit longer. I do lose some units from doing that. But over on this side, the French opponent's turned his shot to canister. As you can see, cav unit's gone in there. This flank's pretty much dead now. He can get up the hill in a second without a problem at all on this side. So all the old guard, young guard units fall back there. You've got the howitzers firing in. There's still a couple of cav units for the French back in reserve. So we're getting hit with howitzers still. As you can see, I didn't want to retire all my units, so I've kept some of them forward. So I'm just going to fast forward this a little bit for you now, because I think this battle was quite a long one. So you look at the top of the screen, you can see cav units charging. Look at the bottom of the screen, you can see what the random player's doing. He's just taking unit after unit. There's two artillery pieces there he's destroying. Up here the cav's moving on. It's going to take out my light unit, but the idea is I've got another unit in the forest there shooting at them, so that's going to hopefully kill off this cav, and I've killed off the other cav, so that's all their cav in the area now gone. So that was kind of my plan and what I wanted to do. I wanted to kill off their cav, because then after that, with Roos's help, we would quite easily be able to take over that flank. It was only the cav which was really causing a problem. The randoms managed to take the hill now. And that's it. It's just, there's about 12 cav left there, so that's not a problem at all. So I'm going to start moving forward with my I've got these two units here are mine on the left. The other two units behind the river are Roos's, and the units to your right are Roos's there as well. So the French opponent's going to cav charge. It's going to be a fail on the cav charge. It's going to do it straight into a square. So I have a little cut into the house. I did this because I just found this a little amusing, how these guys just stood there in the flames. I just looked at that and I thought to myself that was quite amusing. So he's still got his arty up on the hill. It hasn't been destroyed. I don't think they targeted his arty, but then again that arty wouldn't be doing too much damage, so it isn't going to cause anyone a huge problem. So as you can see on this side now, French units off the hill are gone. On our side, French units on our side are gone. So now it's all about just trying to wrap them up and trying to take as few losses as possible. I start flanking the French guy, so I shout at Roos to move up. So Roos is going to move his men up to the river, and he's going to move the two units back across the river on the other side. Roos was also helping out the random on the other flank as well. I believe he sent a few musketeer units and grenadier or so across to him as well. So he was kind of neglecting me on this side, I'm afraid. So I've got the last cav unit is coming in now. They're going to get hit with my grenadiers. My grenadiers will be able to kill a couple of these guys off, but I turn my line and they're going to get some shots and that cav unit will disappear. Yeah, the cav unit's gone. So Rousseau, I believe, is going to try and charge his cav into the French art. So this, I believe, is the old guard, or the kind of old guard attack, I suppose. Should have probably had these units running. I would have definitely have had these units running if he was going to plan to do this, but he lets the Prussians get some really good shots off at him. I suppose it's more historically correct. I suppose they probably would have walked, but I don't know. But yeah, so these old guard units are going to get completely destroyed, really, attacking like that. There's one routed away already. The other one starts firing off. As you can see, the red flag straight away above the musketeer's head, even though it's got like 4 experience on it, or 3 experience. So this is realistically kind of the battle all over now. There isn't really a huge amount more that's going to happen. We just got to take out these RT pieces. Both the right and left flank are gone. So it's just basically trying to wrap up the centre now. But as I say, this is a really hard map for the Prussians to win on. It is. I was surprised how tough this battle actually was. We did it before playing as France. We did, and won it really comfortably. So I was expecting it to be a little bit tough, but not quite this tough. I suppose you could call it quite an easy victory, because in fact the amount of units that Random had left, but with all the cav moving over to our side after I attacked, it made his job extremely easy over there. So I suppose it was quite a comfortable victory, just not for me. I believe I lost all my units in this battle. I don't believe I had any left. So I'd like to say it was a good game to everyone that was involved. As I say, 3 opponents were all clan players. Can't remember their names, it doesn't show you on this, it just tells you their historical names of the generals. But it was a good game to everyone. And everyone please rate, comment and subscribe. Please subscribe. And write down your comments. The next post I'm going to be doing is a battle on Lodi. I think that's how you pronounce it. It could be Lodi. Not 100% sure. But that's going to be the next one I'm going to post. It was me and Roos again, playing against a couple of guys. We were playing as the Austrians in that one. So that was a tough fight as well. It was mostly Austrian armies, contained militia and stuff. So that was a good battle. But thank you all for watching. And I just joined a site called Game Decider as well. So if anyone's on to look at that, I'll put a link in the description for you. And check that out and sign up there. I'm sure they'd all appreciate that. Thanks a lot, guys. And bye-bye.